Accusations tonight of racism coming from many doctors. They say Sutter Health, one of California's largest medical providers, discriminates against black physicians and that it's been happening for decades.
Now on to the silent crisis in our nation's maternity wards. African-American mothers dying at a higher rate than any other racial or ethnic group from childbirth-related complications. Families affected by this tragedy share their stories on the day their lives changed forever. Janae Norman has this report.
Tonight, a look at something you might never see, might never even realize is happening. Our elderly living in nursing homes, many alone with no one visiting them. And our investigation found what can happen to these forgotten souls when no one is watching. They're left drugged and dying. It is a WFAA investigation by Charlotte Huffman.
Tonight, allegations of discrimination at some of the highest levels inside of one of California's largest hospital systems.
Our other top story this evening, chilling allegations against a New York doctor with ties to the Bay Area. He's accused of drugging and assaulting 13 women and videotaping the crimes.
Now, that doctor started his medical career right here in the Bay Area, where investigators are searching for at least one victim. NBC Bay Area's Stephanie Marion.
It's a question we've been trying to help dozens of Valley families answer for years since this body donation business was raided. What happened to their loved ones after being donated to science? Tonight, court documents just unsealed reveal exactly what a Detroit body broker was doing with cadavers he got from Phoenix.
The state of the healthcare system in America is alarming. We are living in a time where bad doctors are rewarded and good doctors are reprimanded. It has created an environment where greed and fraud have flourished. Money is the main motivators of these healthcare professionals. This has led to a significant loss of life. People are being poisoned, disfigured, and even impregnated against their will by their own doctors. They pick and choose who to help. They lie and destroy records, all without consequence. And now I'm going to tell you guys a story that digs a little bit deeper into everything I just mentioned. I want to start off by saying this video is not meant to shame, hurt, or destroy anyone. It's simply our turn to tell the truth. We made a GoFundMe and a petition on change.org, and we went into a lot of detail. So what I'm going to do today is go over the story of what happened to Adam and Joseph. And I just want to let you guys know this is a cautionary tale. It's a tale of how a mother can actively be the demise of her own children. I'm also going to highlight some major issues in healthcare and law enforcement that made it possible for her to do what she did.
Adam's intent is always good. Like, Adam is a sweet, sweet man. He has, like, nothing but good intent for people. He's also, like, wildly intelligent. You know, he's very techy. He speaks, like, a tech language I don't understand.
Yeah.
But Adam, like, is overwhelmingly, like, he's hurt and he's in pain. And so I didn't want to get really involved too much, but, like, I know his intent was good, and I know it was probably therapeutic, and I think he's like, I think he carries a lot of pain with him, because he has been wronged in a lot of ways, and he's been abandoned. He really has been abandoned. So, you know, I don't know. I just love Adam. And I see him just, like, hurt. I see him hurt, really hurting.
So after Joseph passed away in 2007, Adam's life was relatively okay. I mean, he was going to school, he was working at the time, he, you know, was doing fine socially. He ended up getting hired to do the halftime show breakdancing for the Warriors. That was around 2009, 2010. And around the same time, his mother Vasi invited him out to a restaurant called Dino's Grill out in Fremont. When he arrived there, you know, he has seen some of his mother's extended family members, and there was a guy specifically by the name of Tom. He ended up slamming Adam down into the pavement, and that led to a really severe injury that started the whole course of events that led us to today. Now, it's actually kind of sad that, Tom did what he did because, as Adam expressed to me, he actually had a lot of love for the family and, all those people on that side. But that injury really, set into motion it really just derailed his life.
Yeah, and I mean, everything that you said, he said, is true. Like, he was doing really well. And then that injury, I think that injury was actually very much re-traumatizing, as if he almost re-experienced all of his trauma again.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was a huge traumatic event, was that injury. And it was him getting hurt and not being protected.
Mm-hmm.
And his injury not being taken seriously, like not being believed or being listened to, and very triggering to his molestation in a lot of ways. Like, he was hurt. And
Now, after Adam got hurt by Tom, he spent a lot of time and money trying to heal his injury, and it led to a lot of other problems in the process. Eventually, around 2013, 2014, his mother came to him and told him, hey, if you sign up for school and you quit your job at the cannabis club, I can get you help. I know a really good doctor. That's what led to him getting the EKG report. In the EKG report, they said that he had like a dead muscle and a dead nerve, and it would require like surgical repairment. That's when his mother took him to that appointment at Stanford with Dr. Casturos. She knew so many things about him. She knew that, he worked at San Jose State, that he was Greek. She just knew a lot about him. She said he was a really good doctor, and that's how he ended up going there. Now, when he arrived to Stanford, it was already off just from the bat. I mean, he was there for his left shoulder. They're trying to, MRI and get images of his right shoulder. As we said, the immediate appointment before that, they're telling him, yeah, you're going to need surgery. And when he gets there, he's blindsided by this injection. Now, Dr. Casturos didn't even tell him what the injection was. All he said was, this is a protocol injection, you need it to get surgery. Mind you, Adam had already spent years trying to heal this injury, so he was also in a desperate situation, but I mean, he had no reason not to trust this doctor at the time. So he went ahead, he got the injection. It was a blind injection. Now, when he woke up the next morning, he had immediate bad reaction from it. He ended up calling Stanford back up to let them know what he was experiencing. He was going back and forth until they eventually told him to come in almost 7 days later on November 19th, 2014. Now, we have a recording of November 19th, 2014. So I'm going to play that for you guys, and I'm going to also put up the records for you guys to see the notes on that same day, and then I'm going to get back to you guys.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
I'm alright. I just wanted to follow up with you guys. After that injection, I woke up the day after, my neck was frozen. Like, I couldn't even move it, like 2 inches to the left or anything. And then, I just called yesterday to let you guys know that it had been a week, and I still feel like it still feels kind of like injured or real tight, or just kind of painful, like if I'm just on a computer like this for like 20 minutes, I'll get tight right there.
Oh, your trapezius. Are you doing anything to stretch?
And then I'll see then,
Do you notice any difference with the snapping? Is that different?
It's funny because I came in, with the same shoulder injury. Actually I came in because I wanted to know what was up my shoulder, because the past 5 years, every doctor I've seen has diagnosed me with something different, and I was hoping to see him and get diagnosed or whatnot. But what I tried doing for 5 years was avoid a steroid injection, and I finally got it, and when I got it, it didn't help me. I knew it wasn't going to help me, but I guess I had to take that approach to get the surgery or whatnot. But my shoulder is exactly the same, and then my neck is like, kind of messed
So the
up.
shoulder feels exactly the same.
Yeah, but it's still snappy, and it's still,
Can I take a feel?
Yeah. It's like
It's just irritating. I bet you it's your trapezius got irritated.
It's like he injected me with poison or something.
Yeah. No, it definitely wasn't poison.
No, but it felt like that.
No, I understand. It's probably the other muscles that are surrounding that other injured area are probably not happy. All right, let me grab Dr. Do you want Dr. Pistorius, or do you want to wait till next week to see him, or next couple weeks?
I mean,
It's up to you. He's happy to come in and say hi.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It'll just be a few more minutes. Yeah.
For sure.
We'll be right back. He's seeing somebody else right now, but so we go ahead and get started on the paperwork to sign you up for surgery, to do the scope, clean out that space, the scapulothoracic space, since that's basically the only other option at this point, since the injection didn't help and therapy's not going to make it go away.
Yeah. I'm just, I'm concerned with being honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, he told me something different from my last doctor. Then, I seen Dr. Tom, said something different from Dr. King, so it's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And he was sure that this was fine with me, but, to be honest, I'm sitting here and my neck's hurting, and I didn't have that problem before, so it's like, maybe I'll just hold off on those papers and I'll figure something out.
Okay. Do you want to talk to somebody else and get another opinion?
Maybe. I'm just gonna call, I'll just call somebody, I'll get the thing figured out, but
Okay. No, it's up to you. There's
I
no rush.
don't want to make no mistakes, because obviously this, I just want to be better safe than sorry.
No, absolutely. It's your body, so you have to feel 100% confident and happy with the decision. We're just here to try to give you whatever tools we have.
But I do want surgery. That's the only way I feel like I'll get fixed. I've been through a lot of different injections. I feel like I have it. Well, I'm like, me for sure. I'm sure that I have a tear, but everyone's saying I have bursitis or whatnot, or a sprain, or something else. But I have an appointment with him in 2 weeks, I think. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to figure it out.
Okay.
I'll come back.
Yeah, no, definitely come back. There's no rush. I mean, at this point, all the schedule is filling up, so you probably wouldn't have the surgery before the new year. It would probably have to be in the new year. So just so you know, for timing wise, that it won't be like you won't come in and then immediately. It's possible, but just not to expect it to be right away.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Good luck. I'm sorry you're not feeling better.
Oh, you know what? Hopefully, yeah. This shot really freaked me out.
Don't be freaked out. You're young and you're healthy, so your body's gonna just metabolize all of it, and you'll just get better.
I hope.
Just stay active.
I hope in a couple weeks that
it's gone.
Just be gone.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry you're not 100% better.
Okay.
We'll see you in a couple weeks. All right. Thanks for coming.
So as you can hear in the recording, she specifically said he's busy with someone else right now. And you can hear him out in the hallway, telling her to come back in the room. She even offered Adam to speak to someone else, to get a second opinion. So the whole time, Dr. Pistorius was holding on to this story that he saw Adam and Adam was completely fine is just a complete lie. The reason he even ended up here, as you can hear in that recording, was for shoulder surgery. To be honest, I really don't believe that he had to get this injection for surgery, although that is what he was told. Now, after that happened at Stanford, Adam actually had an appointment for a month later with Dr. Pistorius, and he canceled it. His mom was super upset that he did that, but he kind of just had a gut feeling like, something's not right with these people. They're not taking me seriously. They don't want to see me. You know, they made him wait a week just to even come in, and when he gets there, they say the doctor's too busy to see him. So after that happened, Adam actually had an appointment scheduled with Dr. Costeros like a month later that he ended up canceling. His mom got super upset that he did that, but at that time, he not only did he not really know what was going on, he just really didn't have a really good feeling about this doctor. You know, it wasn't until March of the next year that he got his records back, and that's when he realized he was injected with Depo-Metral, and that's when he also realized that the doctor lied about seeing him. So he started to reach out to the patient relations manager at Stanford, and then they kept coming back at him like, you know, we reached out to Dr. Costeros, and he did see you on November 19th. They started telling him that his matters were pre-existing. In one letter, she specifically stated that with regard to your follow-up appointment, Dr. Costeros shared he did examine you on November 19, 2015 and regrets if there was a misunderstanding. So, you know, obviously something wasn't going on. You know, Adam told his mom about this because, I mean, it's like, you're the one who set me up with this Greek doctor, so what's going on? So that's when he started reaching out to legal help. You know, he put in a complaint with the Medical Board of California, and then his mom actually took him to go to this Greek lawyer who, what a coincidence, knew Costeros through his church. I actually have a recording of when Adam asked her about it, so I'm going to play that for you guys.
Mom, but you brought me to one of your attorneys that was friends with Costeros. You think
Adam,
that would be a good idea?
I'm not going through him. I'm going through that black attorney.
Who was that one?
That helped.
Who was that one Greek attorney you took me to?
I didn't know. Somebody told me to go to him.
Who?
And
Who told you to
I don't know. Somebody from church told me there's a Greek attorney over there you could probably go through. And that's when I called and made an appointment. I didn't even know who he was.
So you don't know that guy?
Mm-mm.
You're not friends with that one attorney that you took me to?
No, I'm not friends with him. I don't even know who he is. I just met him that day.
And like I said, he was also going back to see his primary care physician, Nancy Serpa, from the Palo Alto Medical Foundation. And he had been seeing her since maybe like late teens, like a very long time. And it seemed like she had no concern, no regard for, you know, anything that was going on with him. You know, they had actually sent him a letter saying that someone broke into the hospital and stole a laptop that contained Adam's test results and his personal information, when it's like, okay, who's breaking into a hospital to steal a laptop? And second, wouldn't you guys have this information saved on like a server or somewhere protected? Like, I don't know. So that was really weird. We actually ended up reaching out to the police station out in Mountain View, and then we also reached out to Palo Alto Medical Foundation on multiple occasions. So I'm going to play that for you guys as well.
Thank you for holding. Have you been helped?
No, not yet. I was put on hold.
How can I help you?
I was calling because my boyfriend received a letter from, sorry, I'm just looking at the letter. He received it from the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, and he was told that there was a laptop stolen, that contained, like, his test results and, you know, his information. And, I was just wondering, was there ever a police report made for this?
That's really hard to say. I mean, depending on where it was taken from, we'd have to look for that address and who reported it.
Well,
so, what are you concerned of?
I'm just trying to see if there was a police report or, you know, this is just a problem going on with my boyfriend because he, you know, got sick from an injection he received at a hospital that they referred him to. So,
yeah, no, that's kind of extensive. Palo Alto Medical Foundation is a pretty large business. They have several offices, so.
Well, this one was sent from 2350 West El Camino Real.
Okay, that's in Mountain View.
Okay.
So, I mean, but that was who sent the letter?
Yeah, it was sent by Sarah Kitterman, a privacy officer.
Yeah, you'll want to contact the Medical Foundation and see where they are with that.
Okay, but if there was a police report, if I called the Mountain View police station, they should be able to tell me?
They may be able to tell you some information. I'm not sure what they're able to release, but like I said, it's pretty difficult without having the case number, to look that up for such a large business, because they have several offices within every city, basically. Even if their mailing address or their letterhead has one address, it could have been taken from another building. So, I mean, it could take extensive research to find out what address it was actually stolen from.
Okay.
But if you're concerned about your boyfriend's information,
My name is Anna. I received a voicemail about a privacy concern here at Palo Alto Medical Foundation.
Yeah, give me just one moment, please.
Sure.
Hello?
Hi. So sorry about that. I just have to make sure that I'm confirming who I've spoken to and gotten a valid authorization. So go ahead. How can I help you?
Basically, I was calling because I called not too long ago in regards to a letter that was, it had already been sent to Adam. It was in regard to a laptop being stolen with containing some of his information and test results. And it was addressed to the, Mountain View. Yeah. So it was dated to, let me go to the file just so I can give you the correct, exactly what it said. And I know it was signed by a woman named Sarah Kitterman. She said it was that she was a privacy officer. Is that still correct, or is she not available anymore?
So Sarah Kitterman was our previous privacy officer, but she actually has been promoted as an organization. So she's actually our chief privacy officer now.
Basically, I was calling because we had contacted the Mountain View police station to see if there was any report made or what actually happened, because it said that there was that investigation, that they would be conducting an investigation on the matter. So we were calling just to get an update on that and see what actually happened in regards to that laptop being stolen with his information and his test results.
So you called the Mountain View Police Department to find out information about this case?
Well, basically, yeah, but then they told me that I would have to contact you guys back.
Okay. And so you just wanted to find out what happened, correct?
Yeah.
From 2015.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me actually go ahead and let my manager know, because usually the investigations actually happen internally within our organization.
Yeah.
That the investigation is made, and the letter usually is a patient notification letter. So let me do a little bit more background work. Because
I also had one more question.
Yeah,
that's the same thing Sarah told me, and that's why I was calling you back, because I never got a response from her. She told me let her look into it since it was so old, but I never got a call back. But I also have one more question. Is there any way that we would still be able to get those? Sorry. Is there still a way that we'll be able to get those test results, although this laptop was stolen?
Any way to get the test results from the laptop?
I'm saying, was the laptop the only source that it was saved on, or is, would he still be able to get the results from that? It says the vestibular test results.
So there's really nothing that I can confirm or validate right now, because I don't know anything. I would have to actually go into the system to find out more information. So you just wanted to find out if you can receive those test results. If those test results were taken at Palo Alto Medical Foundation, they would be in his chart. Although the laptop was stolen, the laptop would only have access to the system. So like I said, I'm not quite sure about this particular case and the details on it. I will have to find out more information. Let's see here. I will be sending Adam an email with the release of information form so I don't have to go through this verbal authorization with him
Yeah.
Are you able to scan that letter that you have and send that to me via email as well?
Yeah, I actually have it scanned and saved. I can upload it and just send you a copy.
Yeah. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and give you my email at sutterhealth.org. So if you can give me a little bit of time to kind of do some background work and figure out the details on the case and kind of what happened, and then I'll be able to give you a call back and discuss that. Because it is from 2015, way before I was even here. So I'll actually need to do a little bit digging in the investigation cases.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. So just give me a few days, maybe 2 days, to kind of get some background work and information, so I can provide as much information as I can to any questions that you guys may have.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Of course. That's what we're here for.
Thanks.
All right. We'll keep in touch. Okay.
All right. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye. You too.
So that issue right there actually was never resolved. I know she said we'll keep in touch, but they never kept in touch. I mean, every time I reached back out to them, it was like, you know, I had to re-explain what happened. No one knew what happened. I mean, they had even, as you hear right there, had switched privacy officers and never even looked into it. So, I mean, all of this was going on, and we were coming up to about almost a year after Adam got the injection, and we had another appointment scheduled with Dr. Costeros, and it was actually kind of like his time to, in a way, confront the doctor. You know, first of all, what you did to me really messed me up. You know, no one's willing to help me for it, and a big reason is because you lied in the records. You know, you did not see me. So, in this appointment, you're going to hear it was me, his mom, and his aunt through marriage, Jennifer, who were actually at the appointment. And this woman, Jennifer, his mom had actually started bringing her along when she started taking him to like SOAR and things like that. Her excuse was always, you know, I want a nurse's opinion, because Jen was a registered nurse. So like I said, you're going to hear in this appointment, it was us three with Adam. I'm going to play a couple clips from there, and I'm going to just talk about him after that.
No, it's not that. I just feel very sick. I feel like the nerves in my neck are firing off or something. I feel very sick. You know, like literally nauseous. You know, I can't work out. I throw up. I feel dizzy. My neck feels very stiff, especially on the left side where he injected right here from my spine upward. And you know, I haven't talked to him since the injection. You know, he said he saw me on the 19th. Because I was complaining to Stanford and telling him something seriously went wrong. So.
Did you get the injection from Dr. Costeros on your shoulder?
Yeah.
But did you get an injection in your neck as well?
No.
Okay.
In this case, he does.
In this case, I'm going in and out the emergency room, telling him, you know, this is just not my neck. It's my heart. It's from head to toe. It's my whole nervous system that really got hurt. But the pain starts from my spine up to my neck. That's what happened. And, you know, it just got worse from there, the pain, because I got my range of motion back in my neck. And when I got my range of motion back, my nerves were, it just felt like they're so damaged inside. And they still feel like.
And have you...
So he's just kind of like explaining to, you know, the nurse all his symptoms and things like that before the doctor gets in there. And everything he's kind of been experiencing. And then, so you're going to hear when Dr. Costeros comes in.
I got hurt, obviously, from that procedure, you know.
You're also crushed by a heavy person years ago that started this whole thing with your shoulder blade, right?
Yeah,
and your sternoclavicular joint. So there's more to this whole picture. Let's not just focus on that one, because I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you, and sometimes I have the answers, and sometimes I may not have the answers. I'm really sorry that you had that experience from the injection.
Yeah.
You know, when I saw you that time, we were suspecting that you had an injury to the scapula.
What time?
The first time, on the 11th of November, 2014.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay. And at that time, you know, we were trying to kind of piece together why you were having these issues. And so I suspected then that you had a snapping scapula syndrome, we call that. So the shoulder blade has the medial border, and some people develop a bursitis under that shoulder blade, and it made sense because of the injury where you had that heavy guy that crushed you years prior. And so for that, so just like we have bursitis of the shoulder, you can have bursitis of the knee. We will sometimes offer patients injections for two reasons. One is to confirm the diagnosis, because the pain goes away even for a temporary period of time. It hones in on the diagnosis. And potentially it can treat the problem. Now, some people with any injection, a very small percentage of people will have what we call a flare reaction. But usually it's temporary. So for maybe days or a week, it sounds like someone put knives into the area of the injection. We call it a flare reaction. It's something that comes up occasionally with steroid injections, whether they're in the knee or in the shoulder or wherever. So when we first saw you back, and again, I don't know where the disconnect is about the second time you came in, because I had a patient just earlier today who was a victim of a car accident. I saw them last week, and they don't even remember seeing me. They saw a resident, they saw fellows, they saw doctors. They just don't remember. So,
do you remember seeing me?
I do remember seeing you with Tiffany Castillo, who was my assistant that day. So I remember. I mean, it's fraud for me to document the chart that I've not seen you.
I'm sitting here telling you the truth right now. I'm not looking in the eye to tell you the truth. Phones don't lie. I recorded that whole visit.
Okay.
And I have to go home every night, not only in pain, but like, I can't trust the doctor, because how did he put a whole paragraph after he hurt me really bad, and I'm on the phone crying, I'm in the office saying it feels like I got injected with poison. In the recording, the phone's just, like, I'm literally sitting here trying to reason with you and trying to get better, and you're sitting here telling me that you remember?
So as you can hear in that appointment, I mean, Dr. Husteros, first, he's trying to blame it on you were crushed by a 300-pound man, when it's like, okay, that might be true, but he was never going through any of this before he saw you. I mean, when he came to you, he was supposed to get surgery. He was never throwing up after practice or not remembering or losing his way around campus. I mean, these things were never happening to him. He also stated that, in regards to November 19, 2014, he said that, I don't know where the disconnect was. He even said that he had 3 patients that day who don't remember seeing him, as if Adam just is losing his mind, when it's like, okay. And he even said, I remember seeing you. And at that moment, that's when we told him, well, we have the recording. Like, you can say whatever you want, but I mean, we have the full recording. You did not see me that day, and you're gonna hear how he reacts right here.
Yeah, bring in the phone. Let's go through it, because let's just
Where's
go through
Tiffany?
that.
Will she be able to say that? She was
Tiffany,
with you when you saw him?
So the way it works at an academic medical center is we have residents. Residents are training. They're learning about orthopedic surgeons. They rotate through. They don't spend the whole time with me. So Tiffany is on another service right now. I have a different doctor.
So did you and Tiffany saw him together? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's how it works.
So is Tiffany here? Can we ask
She's
her?
not here today. She's at a different hospital. She's working with a different doctor.
But
let's focus
on. Can I
on.
ask more questions? I mean, I just didn't know how is it pre-existing? My neck. I never got seen for my neck.
I don't know where the pre-existing things come from. I never said it was pre-existing. All I was saying is you had an injury that caused this problem. We tried to begin with an injection. The injection went haywire. It causes some spasm. Let me explain what probably has happened. You had some spasm where we did the injection and extended up to the trapezius muscle, which comes up to the neck, and that's been a persistent problem ever since. Yeah. And so we have tried to have some other, sometimes it helps to get some other opinions. So you've seen, another shoulder doctor, Dr. Chung. Yeah. You've seen Dr. Kennedy. You've seen some other doctors who have run a bunch of blood tests to look for other causes of this, and everybody's scratching their heads because there isn't something discrete that we can point to and say that's the problem.
So even in there, he said, me and Tiffany saw him together. In that recording, not once do you ever hear him, except for outside of the room. I mean, you can hear her footsteps getting louder and her open the door and come back in. So I'm going to play that for you guys one more time.
He's seeing somebody else right now, but so you go ahead and get started on the paperwork to sign you up for surgery, to do the scope, clean out that space, the scapulothoracic space, since that's basically the only other option at this point, since the injection didn't help and therapy's not gonna make it go away.
Yeah. I'm just, I'm concerned with being honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, he told me something different from my last doctor. Then, I seen Dr. Tom, said something different from Dr. King, so it's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And he was sure that this was fine with me, but, to be honest, I'm sitting here and my neck's hurting, and I didn't have that problem before, so it's like, maybe I'll just hold off on those papers and I'll figure something out.
Okay. Do you want to talk to somebody else and get another opinion?
Maybe. I'm just gonna call, I'll just call somebody,
So like I said, he was seeing somebody else at the time. He said, go ahead, start the papers for surgery. He was never once there that day with Tiffany to see and examine Adam. And I mean, you're going to hear, we are asking, well, is there any way we can speak to Tiffany? He's like, no, I'll speak to you. I'll speak to her for you and things like that, which is like, why would we trust you to speak to her when you've already lied in the records? So I'm going to just play a couple of those recordings for you guys.
I'm just telling you, I don't trust
But I want to help you.
after
I don't blame you. If I was in your position, I wouldn't either. But again, I'm not perfect. I'm not God. I made some assessment and it didn't turn out the way. I spend my day and night helping people the best I can.
Alright, I want to talk to Tiffany.
I
She's
feel
not
like,
here today.
okay,
We'll come back
yeah, we know that, someone crushed him, someone hurt him, but the point is, this is coming
But
from
he was in pain
the
before
shot.
he came in, so we can't put all the blame on this one shot. You were in
No,
pain.
the thing is, how can I trust a doctor when me and my mom came in for a shoulder pain, right? And we're not shoulder surgery yet.
I can't answer that question.
Okay.
So how did you come up with giving him a shot in his spine if he came in
No,
for
I
a shoulder?
gave him a spine I gave him not an injection in his spine. This is the scapulothoracic bursa. So we gave him an injection. So this is a model of the shoulder and the arm. This is the shoulder blade. And here's the ribs under here. So there's a space under the shoulder blade where he was having a lot of pain and popping and cracking all on this area. We usually inject it, and sometimes we operate on it. So this is what I injected. And it just didn't work out well. Sometimes injections are like magic, and sometimes they don't work. And unfortunately, you had some reaction either to the injection or maybe because of coincidence. There was just something else that happened to the neck. Because there's muscles that live all around here, some of which come up to the neck.
Well, I honestly...
But I hear you. If you've lost trust, I feel very badly about that. Because I'm not in the business of breaking trust in people, but I've obviously failed with you, and I apologize for that. Well, how do you think I feel? I try to treat you...
I don't care how anybody feels, really, because that injection really hurt.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I'm happy to refer you to another doctor if you'd like, or if you want to have me talk to Tiffany, I'm happy to do so.
Please.
Can we get...
Better, I'm happy to have her call you.
I don't think that'll make things better, because we don't know what you're going to tell. You already lied to us, so we don't know what you're going to tell her, Because he didn't see you, and you're saying you were with her. We don't know if you're going to tell her, tell him that you saw him,
I recall seeing you. I don't know where the disconnect is there. Okay?
He doesn't
recall. It was November of last,
seeing
almost been a year ago.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you.
He said he only saw you once.
Yeah.
First day.
I don't remember. Sometimes patients don't remember, but I recall seeing you. I swear. I'm looking at you straight in the eye. I recall seeing you.
I don't know how many injections, because it never happens. I'm sure
I gave you one injection.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I gave you one injection on the 11th, and then you came back on the 20th. You had
Not
called
the 19th.
Or the 19th, I should say. And then my sister, I know you called Katie on the phone because you were saying, wait a second, this doesn't feel right, I'm having a problem.
Yeah.
And then you came in.
That's abnormal. It doesn't happen.
It happens very rarely. Some people have a flare reaction.
Yeah.
But it usually goes away. It doesn't last for a year.
No. What happened is my neck was frozen for a month. And when I got back my range of motion, what happened is the nerves in my neck were already broken, or they just felt damaged. And I'm actually calling a month later, crying on the phone, and they said, all right, we're going to get back to you on your right shoulder. So it was very hard for me to come to this appointment on the 11th and right shoulder. They're in the x-ray room. They're trying to x-ray my right shoulder. Me and my mom are right shoulder. It says on the paper right shoulder. We're like,
all the notes are the left shoulder. I don't know. No one said right in my notes. I don't know who said right. Left shoulder.
Okay.
Left shoulder. All my notes are left shoulder.
Yeah.
And all my injection was in your left scapulothoracic bursa.
Yeah.
So
That was just
look,
weird to me.
these are the doctors that can manage pain.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not surgeons. They're not affiliated with Stanford, but they're very good and they're nearby. Here's a brochure from their office, and here's a referral. Just think about it. You have it if you need it. Okay, it's just an option. And so I'm going to give you that, and I can have Kathleen come in and close the loop a little bit, because I treat shoulder that's my whole life, okay? But nobody bats 1,000, and I'm sorry that you had this reaction.
That's why I'm saying people make mistakes, Consuelos, right? I came back here honest, like, hey, something happened, and then somebody made me wait 8 days to come in. Because I called back the day after it happened. And then when I get in here and I'm waiting a long time, someone comes in like he's too busy to see me. He's still too busy to see me. And then he puts on the paper that he did see me.
Well, look, that's the part that I have a little bit of a problem with, because I see everybody. I might be brief, because I have assistants that work with me, because I see 70 patients a day, because I'm in high demand.
Well, I'm going to go home and I'm going to listen to the recording.
I have a question.
Maybe you recorded a part of the visit where I wasn't in the room, because I have my assistant.
I have a question. So if you saw him, how long did you see him for?
I don't remember. It was a year ago. I don't keep track.
You don't have like a range of time? I mean, you remember seeing him, but you don't remember how long?
I don't know.
That was a year ago too, and it's like, even if you said people see you for a brief moment, if he's in here crying and his neck is frozen, that doesn't make sense. Why would you just see him brief, So like, I just feel like what you're saying
I'm not saying I don't know. I'm just saying we're speculating.
It's okay.
But that's a year ago.
I'm just saying, I feel like my personal opinion is...
So listen, I'm in the business of helping people. That's what I do, but I'm not perfect. So all I can say is I'm sorry. I would never have wanted this to happen to you. In my heart of hearts, I would never want you to suffer like this. Never. I mean, my oath is to do no harm. And I did you some harm, and I apologize. I apologize.
Intentional or not intentional, like, every mistake has a consequence. And maybe you messed up unintentionally, didn't know, but you hurt him, And there's no way you can just throw him and refer him to a different doctor or
I'm not throwing him anywhere, but listen, sometimes we have the tools to help people in our area of expertise.
Yeah.
This is something where I think that I don't have the tools to help you.
He said I was going to be fine when I got the injection.
Yeah.
Let's have Kathleen come in and just give some guidance to us, because these things come up. These things come up sometime, and it's been a year, and I don't remember all the details.
I'm a tough guy, Consuelos. I've had surgery on every leg.
I know.
And with that Depo-Medrol, I can't even sit down and read without.
Let's find a solution, because remember, you were pinned by a 500-pound guy.
No, that has nothing to do with what happened with the injection you gave me.
I know.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you, just like how I was honest with you then. When I hurt my shoulder, I went to go see 20 doctors in a 5-year span, right? When after that injection, I literally not only went to different hospitals, different emergency rooms, everywhere.
I've read the
telling them,
I hear your
telling
point.
them that injection did this to me. So every time something happens to me in my life, I'll tell them so. I'll tell all those other 20 doctors before Tom hurt my shoulder, I got the injection, it was for my neck. And then I told all these 30 in a short period of time, way worse than my shoulder. In 8 months, I seen more doctors than I did for my shoulder than I did in 5 years. And I told them because of the steroid injection.
Let's see what we can do. Let's look forward. Okay, let's look at a game plan to get this fixed, one way or another.
That's why I'm here.
Okay. Let me see about Kathleen coming in here and giving us some guidance.
So it's like, okay, you're at Stanford Hospital, and I know like anybody would be thinking like, how the hell does this happen at Stanford Hospital? Well, I mean, at the time we didn't know what was going on, but just going back and doing research on Stanford, I mean, they don't live up to the reputation that they have. I mean, at the same time this was happening, there was someone dressing up as the KKK for Halloween at the hospital. I mean, you can go onto this website. It's called Stanford Secrets, and it's like the list of all these different lawsuits against Stanford. I mean, they go into a lot of detail on a lot of the discrimination, racism, and mistreatment that not only patients but doctors go through there. So, I mean, you have, at one point, they were seen telling a Muslim patient to pray in his own country. And what is the reoccurring, theme of all this? When things happen, they don't do nothing about it. I don't know, but I want to go over a few of the things that was going on at the same time that he received this injection. So some of the allegations include race harassment and discrimination. They say Miss Young discovers and immediately reports Stanford's healthcare defendant staff dressing like the Ku Klux Klan at work and begins to suffer immediate gaslighting and retaliation. Mrs. Young's coworker uses the N-word in her presence, and when Miss Young reports her, she is accused of lying and bullying others. I mean, this is what their response is to when, their own doctors speak out. So, I mean, of course, what do we think? I don't know. But all of this was going on at the same time that he had received that injection. So, I mean, for people to say Stanford is this great hospital, this great place, I mean, you just haven't done your history on them. There was also another instance where a man was caught touching men under anesthesia, and this case is actually pretty wild because it's a lot more than I initially thought. So okay, yeah, I just have to double check myself. But like I said, this case was pretty wild. So basically, this guy who worked at Stanford was touching people under anesthesia, like men who were coming out of surgery or different things like that. Well, he was already a sex offender, and when Stanford hired him, they knew he was a sex offender, and they didn't warn anyone. They didn't, first of all, they shouldn't have even hired him in the first place, but they did for some reason. But this guy was charged with battery, sexual battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Basically, he did all of that, and he settled, and he only got a year in prison or jail. I don't know which one, but he only got a year. And the people who were representing him in this case, they were called the Aliota Law Firm. So a quick story about the Aliota Law Firm. We actually seen them on the news. We seen this guy. His name was Joseph Aliota. He was standing on the steps of the district attorney's building. And he was like, if you have any complaints against anyone in these areas, hit us up. We're looking to help, blah, 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 all these different things. So we contacted them. He owned a law firm, and his dad, they were both named the same thing, Aliota Law Firm. Well, his dad was the one who owned the Aliota Law Firm that represented the defendants that settled with a year in jail. We didn't know that at the time, but when we hit him up, his assistant got back to us, and she was like, okay, send us everything you got, go into a lot of detail. And we wrote about 17 pages. We attached documents, everything like that, and we sent it to them, and after that, we didn't hear anything. We even were like, hello, what's going on? She was like, oh, well, I hit you up on September 22nd. And I'm like, it's September 15th. What do you mean? So they were just kind of giving us the runaround. So I don't know what happened with that, but it's just weird to me that his dad owns a law firm, and they settled, and they gave this predator a year in jail for doing what he did. And then this guy is on the news rallying people who have complaints against Stanford. I don't know, reality is stranger than fiction. These people who have a lot of money, they will do these crazy things to try to protect themselves, So that was just a quick story. But I also want to read to you guys this review we found on Dr. Casteros. So it was posted in, I want to say 2015, 2016, but I'm going to just read the whole review for you guys. So it says, my experience was heinous. Dr. John Casteros was one of the worst doctors I've seen in 28 years. I injured my shoulder, went to Stanford, and was seen by Dr. Casteros. It took me 6 weeks to schedule the visit. Here is a list of Dr. Casteros' errors and rude behavior. 1. He was 2 hours late to my appointment. 2. He called me Jim repeatedly, despite my correcting him twice. My name is not Jim or James or anything similar. His total visit time with me was 2 minutes and 37 seconds after I had waited 2 hours. He did not know how much the visit cost. He did not know what my copay might be. I'm insured. He did not know who I could talk to in order to find out the visit cost or copay. He did not know the cost of an MRI he was considered ordering. He did not know where I could find out the cost of such an MRI. He did not give me a diagnosis. In parentheses, he said he was thinking of ordering an MRI but didn't know for sure. He mentioned I might consider physical therapy, but A, did not know whether physical therapy was covered by my insurance or how much it might cost, or B, did not know where I could find out how much it might cost, and C, did not recommend any physical therapist. He gave me none of his contact information and suggested no follow-up steps. He did not treat me and my shoulder is still in pain. Avoid Dr. Costeros if you possibly can. I mean, you can find this online yourself if you look up Dr. John Costeros, but it's like, this is what's going on at Stanford Hospital and at all these places that kind of live off their reputation, you know, and when this happens, no one looks into it. I'm going to show you guys the response we got from the medical board. Now, mind you, the medical board, Adam sent in his complaint. He told them, you know, I have the recording. They never contacted him. They never asked for the recording. They really didn't do any real investigation. They got back to him in November of 2015. They said, Dear Mr. Hassan, the Medical Board of California is in receipt of your recent correspondence regarding Dr. Costeros. The board is only authorized to take action against those individuals who have violated the Medical Practice Act. We have reviewed the information you provided and find no apparent violation of the law. Thank you for bringing the situation to our attention. We regret we are unable to assist you in the matter. Sincerely, Nicole Bowles. Okay, first of all, what do you mean there's no violation of the law? In that recording, you guys can clearly hear he was not there. He did not see Adam, although he lied in his records and seen that he did. So that's what we wrote. We did another complaint. We said, hey, you guys need to do a real investigation, and here's the recording. You need to listen to it. And we had to wait on the response again. Now, again, like I said, with Vasi, everything was just starting to add up. I mean, from the Greek lawyer, from the woman Tina. I'm going to put up a picture of her for you guys. I mean, this is Tina with Adam. This is also Tina with Penny. Penny was the one who was volunteering at SOAR and UCSF and all these places Vasi was taking him. And just nothing was adding up. So I had the idea where, listen, I'm going to go out with your mom and I'm going to record and I'm going to just ask her a few questions. So I'm going to play you guys a couple of those recordings and I'm going to just come back and talk in between.
Not medically inclined. I didn't know the shot was going to hurt him, but he knew the shot was going to hurt him. He should have never let the doctor do that, you know? Because he read up on it.
Did he know?
He knew that a doctor should not give you an injection blindly. He knew that.
But didn't the doctor tell you guys it was protocol?
He said
Did
it was
the
protocol.
doctor? So the doctor really insists, like, because Adam tells me that Adam said there was no way to get your shoulder fixed or shoulder surgery without the shot. Like,
yeah,
he really said that.
He really said that. Like, but Adam could have said, you know what, Mom, I don't want to do it. Let's do it another time.
Yeah, but also Adam, he's like.
So you can hear, like, Vasi is admitting that, you know, it was a blind injection, that the doctor said you had to have this to have surgery. But at the same time, it's like she's trying to blame Adam, you know, like, oh, well, he knew he shouldn't have did that. It's like, how are you going to blame Adam when he went these years trying to get surgery? He had the doctor pressure him last minute, and now you're trying to blame your son? So I don't know. Let me just play another recording for you guys.
You should say that you're his wife.
Adam's not married. But we can't lie to them, you know, because that's going to look bad if we eventually go to court and, oh, I lied. I said, you know, so we have to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we can't lie and be, oh, yeah. So it's like, he doesn't have a wife.
Well, you can say you're his fiance. Say that. You can't prove that.
Yeah, but then also, you know, we don't want to play their game. You know, we don't want to become liars. We want to make them be honest. You get what I'm trying to say, Bossy? We don't want them to slander. We don't want to slander ourselves and ruin our reputation when they did something wrong. You know, we don't, Bossy, you don't want to waste your money anymore. Like, just email Stanford and be like, you know.
If you want me to email Stanford, this is what you got to do. You send me the name and the address, who to send the email to, and you have to write what you want me to say. You pretend like you're me, okay? Just send me a text. I'll go back, and then I'll send the email out. Okay?
Yeah. But okay, I'll tell you. Well, just tell the story. It's just the only thing is like
No, you tell the story.
But I don't want to make it seem like I coerced you to say that. You know.
They're not gonna know that because it's coming from my computer. It's coming from me. It's coming from my computer. They're not gonna know. So you can just text me whatever you feel like saying.
So in that recording, you can hear like her trying to tell me to lie. Like, oh, just lie to them. Just say, you know, you're his wife. Just, I don't know why, you know, she didn't want to really address the problem. I mean, you were there. You saw everything that was going on, but for some reason she was not willing to speak out against this doctor unless it was like in secret or something. So I'm just play a couple more recordings for you guys.
I understand that, but I'm just letting you know, Armani, that
so it's like
they're very judgmental. You understand?
Yeah.
They know Adam's history. What has he done with his life? He'd gone to college but didn't finish, okay? And they know why he didn't finish, because he got sick. Okay, but what did he do for money? He worked at a cannabis club, or he worked for Uber, and they know that he smokes marijuana. When you smoke marijuana,
do their kids smoke, or?
No, they do good in life. If they do it secretly, but they're not heavy smokers like Adam. Adam buys weed every day. They don't buy weed every day. That's not on their agenda.
But they can't say that.
So here she goes again. She's trying to blame everything on marijuana and things like that. Another thing that you guys hear in there, this is when I first started to realize why she was doing what she was doing. I mean, you can hear her right there saying, you know, if anyone ever asks you, lie and say Adam's working for Uber. And Adam wasn't working at all at that time. He was very sick. He had to drop out of school. And their whole agreement at that time, because she has such a big problem with him working at a dispensary, she was like, if you quit your job and you enroll in school, I'll pay for where you're living. I mean, his rent was like $1,000 a month. So that was their whole agreement. But now that he's sick and he had to drop out of school, he had to lie to people and say he's working for Uber. I mean, she even 1 year told him that he couldn't come to Thanksgiving if he didn't lie and say he was working. And he spent Thanksgiving alone that year. So this is when I started to realize, oh, okay, now I know who you're lying to. And now I'm starting to figure out like why you're lying. So I'm asking her about it, and I'm gonna play another recording, and this is where I really kind of figured out like, oh, okay, like all this shit is really connected. So just take a listen.
Okay, but I understand that, but who's gonna know that? Because I'm telling you, if it gets around to the Greeks and the Greeks find out that he's doing this,
who's gonna know that? When he puts his documentary out, people are gonna know that. You know, it is gonna be about the plain truth. That's it. Period.
I know, I understand what he wants from the documentary, but what I'm talking about is he cannot go around and tell Yanni, you know, or any of the Greeks that I'm giving him money. Because if I give it, if he does that and my husband finds out, the next day Adam will be on the street homeless. I will not be able to give him a penny. You understand? Yeah. I'm hiding this money from my husband. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Armani.
Yeah.
I hope you're right, because the minute it slips, and Marcus or Ray goes and tells Yanni, and Yanni goes and tells his dad, and his dad goes and tells my husband, you know how it gets around, gossip, gossip, gossip. It's done deal. He'll be homeless on the street the next day. All bills will stop. I'm just letting you know. You know what? Sorry. I'm not going to go against my husband. Yeah. My husband he helps me with my bills. I'm not going to sit there and do that. I don't even tell my sister. I don't even tell my mother. I don't tell anybody in my family that I help Adam. I don't even tell my best friend.
So again, she kept mentioning in that recording, like, it can't get back to the Greeks, like, you know. She also mentions this guy Yanni. I'm gonna insert a picture of him right here. He's the guy in the front in the white shirt. He's Adam's uncle. He's a little bit kind of closer in age, so he refers to himself as their cousin, but in reality he's their uncle. She also mentions this guy. I'm gonna insert a picture. His name is Marcus. So basically, her in her own words confirmed this connection. You know, if it gets to Ray and Marcus, and then to Yanni, and then to Yanni's dad, then to her husband, is gonna be, you know, she's gonna make Adam homeless the next day. Which is like, why can't your husband know you're in contact with your son? I mean, the whole time I've been with Adam, he's never even been able to call her while her husband is home. It's always been, between 9:30 and 5 p.m. If you call me other than that, I'll never speak to you again. He's never been invited to her home. I mean, before she left the state, she was living not too far for a couple years, never invited him over. It's very weird. I'm gonna go into more detail about that later. But I'm going to just play a couple more recordings of Vasi just admitting to lying and basically why she wants Adam to lie.
You know, I lie to them. I go, no, I'm not. He's able to handle it himself. You know, he works. And they go, well, how is he working if he's in pain? That's what they asked me.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't say anything, you know? Those are your best friends, just be like, I don't know how. Don't make up that lie, you know, because then if we go and we're in pursuit legally and the public hears, they're gonna be like, he says he wasn't working. His mom was telling me that he was working, you know.
No, because when you talk to the legal people, you tell the legal people the truth. You're not gonna be talking. I'm talking about girlfriends. I'm talking about the Greeks. I'm talking about the relatives. You understand?
But Kousteros is Greek.
Yeah, right? But he's not related to us.
Yeah, not related to you, but I'm saying you're telling, like Adam told me all Greek people know each other. Like, you know, it's a small community.
No. My relatives don't know.
Do you guys have mutual friends? Do you think it's possible?
No, we don't have mutual friends. We know nothing about the Kousteros. We don't know about Kousteros.
No, not about Kousteros, but it's like, not your friends and his friends, but it's like, you know, the community. You know, of people. You get what I'm saying?
No.
Like they all go, they go to the same church or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Just like how the lawyer you guys talk to goes to the church as Kousteros. Remember?
Yeah. He knew him. But we didn't know this Greek attorney that we went to go see.
All I'm saying is like,
do you get what I'm trying to say?
Just like you say, no matter what, something can get out, right? Just like how you say, don't even Adam's friends. He shouldn't tell his friends because they can still get out, right?
Exactly.
So what you told them can still get out, and lying can make it seem worse.
No, okay,
you know
it isn't. You're wrong about that, because when you're sitting down and talking to a legal person and you're talking about your case, you're going to talk about the truth. You're going to say
we're not going to lie to them.
You're not going to lie about
them.
Of course, you're going to say the truth.
But people are going to
listen. You're going to say the truth. You're going to say no. Adam can't work because he's sick. His poor mom was taking care of it. No.
You get what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but that will never happen, because I don't tell my girlfriend, my best friend, what's going on with what attorney he's seeing or who he's with.
What I'm saying is someone won't know. They won't know he's the attorney. He's just gonna be out in public. You know, he's gonna be out in public.
That's not gonna happen. That's very rare. That's gonna happen. That's very rare.
That happens a lot. You know, it happens a lot.
All I have to say is...
All I'm saying is just be honest, you know?
I am going to be honest, but all I'm saying is...
Are you his wife? Are you his mother? And I said, no, I can't lie and be like, yeah, I'm his wife. I can't be like, I'm his fiance. That's dishonesty, because they're going to take advantage of that. Little things make big impacts. And when you're going to have to be in court and you're going to have to be under oath, you know, and that's going to be public. Are your friends going to come to the court hearing and support you when you're there?
No, they're not going to come. They don't want to. Why would they want to come? I don't.
I'm saying we're going after a doctor that's affiliated with Stanford, who is a professor at San Jose State.
So you know what? This is between you, Adam, and the doctor. My family and friends.
But you were there when he got the injection, so you're going to have to testify.
Let me tell you. Yes, this is between me, you, Adam, and Stanford. My family, my mother, my brothers, my sister, my friends will not be in court to hear that shit.
Okay, yeah, they're not going to be in court, but they're going to find out about it, Vasi.
They're not going to find out.
It's going to be public, and we're going after someone affiliated with Stanford.
I understand that, but they don't care.
Someone who goes to San Jose State.
Listen, Armani, they don't care. They don't care about Adam because I don't talk about Adam. You understand? Whenever anybody asks me, how's your son? He's doing good.
Not that they don't care,
what's he up to? He's got a girlfriend. That's all I say. I end the sentence. I do not talk about my son. I don't talk about...
it's going to be public. That's going to be facts stated in the trial. And when it goes out and when it's printed on the newspaper, it's going to talk about, you know, how... What I'm trying to say is the truth is going to come out, period.
No,
you know?
They don't do that. You don't know Penny and Angelo and Canelo. They don't, Armani. They don't discuss anything that's personal. They learned about that.
All I'm saying is everyone's going to find out, you know, whether it's in 5 years or in 10 years.
Yeah, I understand that. You know what? They're going to know. They're going to find out generally speaking. But they don't care about the details.
They're going to know the truth.
They're going to know the truth, but they don't care about details.
Well, they're going to find out that he wasn't really working, you know? They're going to find out that. Then they're going to ask you.
Adam's in the car.
Then they're going to ask you, you know, what happened? You know what I'm saying? So they're going to find out the truth.
You know what? I'm not going to get a divorce over this. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I'm letting you know. I'm letting you know.
So two main things that stand out to me from those few recordings was, number one, again, she's like, I'm not going to get a divorce over this. It's like, why is that so important to you? Like, when did things go wrong? As you can see, I mean, Adam and his brother Joe, you know, they loved their mom. They were very affectionate with their mom. I mean, they're Muslim, you know, their mom comes first. And I know she was Greek Orthodox and things like that, but from their perspective, I mean, they loved her. So for her to continuously want to put this man in front of her husband, who rumor has it is a fascist. I mean, people are coming over telling us that this guy isn't allowed at our house anymore because he's telling people he's a fascist. So I mean, I don't know what made her decide to start putting him before her own son. I mean, Joseph was gone. She only had one son left, so it was just kind of nasty to see her do that. I mean, especially considering how close Adam and Joe were. I mean, he really had no one left at that time, and for her to just be so willing to throw him away like that, to not only get him hurt from the shoulder injury, to bring him to this doctor that hurt him, to not want to do anything against the doctor that hurt him, and then to go around and say you lie and you don't care and things like that is just like salt on a wound. I'm going to just play a couple more recordings right here, and then I'm going to go into a little bit more detail.
You know,
Joe wasn't his dad. Joe was his entire universe.
Yeah.
And vice versa, too. Like, Adam was Joe's entire universe. It was a mutual thing, except that Joe was older and kind of took on more of a plunge in wanting to be of Adam.
Exactly.
Like, Joe was his dad. Joe was his best friend. Joe was his mom. Joe was his entire world, his protector. And then when Joe died, like, it was just, everything kind of fell apart. Like, Joe's number one priority was always Adam, always. And everyone knew that too, you know, like, all Joe really cared about was Adam. It was like Adam was his son in a way, not just his brother. And so I think a lot of that trauma, I think it just like, it unraveled because his support system basically disappeared. Joe was his support system. Adam and Joe's relationship, I've never seen a sibling relationship there. It was just like, you know, they're like soulmates in a way. I don't know.
Right, exactly.
Again, at that time, we really didn't have like the biggest idea of what was really going on. So we were reaching out to so many different places. I mean, Pfizer, the FDA, HIPAA, the patient relations. I mean, just trying to get any information to see what was going on. I'm going to play a couple more of those recordings for you guys, and then I'm going to go into a few news clips. Here you go.
being recorded for quality assurance purposes. My name is Misty, and I'm a nurse. May I have a name and a contact number in case we get disconnected?
Hello?
Hi, is this Mr. Hassan?
Who's this?
My name is Lori Vigilas. I am an analyst at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and I'm reviewing your complaint right now.
Okay, what is this, HIPAA?
Yes. Well, it's not specifically HIPAA. This is a civil rights discrimination complaint that you filed, and I just wanted to clarify the things that you checked off on your box before I forwarded it.
Thank you for calling FDA Division of Drug Information. This is Sierra. May I please have your first and last name and a callback number in case we get disconnected?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Sierra with the FDA Division of Drug Information. Can I speak with Mr. Hassan?
You're speaking with him?
Hi, I spoke with you yesterday.
Yes, I clearly remember. I was actually waiting for your call. I appreciate you calling back, by the way.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I don't know if I'll be much of a help, but I asked around, and it seems like the best option for you would be to call your board of medicine of your state and report exactly what happened to you at the hospital, because it seems like there was from our conversation, there was inaccurate information regarding the administration of the medication. So the best thing is to call your board of medicine, which you can file a complaint about the facility, about the hospital that you were at.
Okay, is that HIPAA?
No, this is the board of medicine, which is in charge of the facilities and the practice in your state. So I could give you the number if you would like. Can I get the state that you live in?
I live in California.
California? Okay.
Now, those are just some of the recordings of the people we were reaching out to, but like I said, we had put in a second complaint with the medical board. We had gotten a letter back from them, and this time they were saying things like, there's no way to prove that recording is from the 19th. Let me read exactly what they put. They said, there is no way to prove/disprove the audio recording you provided is from your visit on November 19, 2014, when it's like you can clearly just look at the details of the file. Another one said, regarding your concern that the injection administered caused your neck pain and other complications, review of your medical records obtained do not support this. Of course, they are not going to support that because, like I said, they were lying in his medical records. I mean, many of his records didn't even put Depo-Medrol down as the injection he received on November 11th. So, and again, with this second investigation, they never reached out to Adam. We had to drive from Hayward to Sacramento on our own to try to reach out to Nicole Bowles at the medical board. They took no step. There was no initiative to try to help us or figure out what was going on. And from looking at Yelp, I mean, we're not the only ones. There are multiple reviews on Nicole Bowles and the medical board, of California, on their lack of, action when people get hurt. And I'm going to play a couple news clips for you guys. They actually did an investigation into the medical board this past, I think it was 2020, and how they let doctors hurt people and they let these doctors continue practicing. Many of the times with know where to go and look at, no history or any, previous acts. So just take a look at these.
A physician. Dr. John Hall spent 25 years practicing pediatric anesthesia and critical care. Later in his career, he went to work as the executive director of the Mississippi Medical Board.
Most medical boards are constituted of physicians who are political appointees, and that is an inherent conflict of interest.
The people who are policing the doctors have an interest in protecting the doctors.
Absolutely.
But after Dr. Hall pushed the Mississippi Medical Board to be more aggressive in disciplining doctors, he found himself out of a job.
I believed in the mission of the medical board, and I thought this is a place where I can do this and do some good.
You were pushing too hard.
Absolutely.
Less than 2% of doctors are responsible for more than half of all malpractice settlements.
It's a very small proportion of physicians that have caused the bulk of the problem. And even worse, only 1 in 7 have had any action taken against them by any state.
Meaning most of the bad doctors are still practicing.
Right.
After doctors harm their patients, medical boards often look the other way. Yikes. This morning, Jim Axelrod shows us why the public often has little idea who these doctors really are.
Found that doctors who repeatedly hurt their patients are often allowed to continue practicing. Today, we hear from 2 men who say the system is broken and efforts to reform it have failed for years.
I'm speaking out because I can't sleep at night.
T.J. Watkins was appointed to the California Medical Board in 2019.
You can't sleep at night because the way the board does its business?
Yes.
Watkins previously served as vice president of the California board that licenses physical therapists. He's speaking out now because he's troubled by what he's seen on the medical board.
The way they speak is always with doctor care in mind. You never hear patient care, ever. And I mean ever.
Do you think the way the medical board functions in the state of California actually ends up costing patient lives?
There's no question that it costs patients' lives.
Not only is it the Medical Board of California, they said only 1 in 7 of any medical board of any state will actually, you'll see a time where doctors reprimanded for their actions. And this is not just the medical board. I mean, there was also a lawsuit filed by the actress Lupita Nyong'o. Her cousin is a doctor for Palo Alto Medical Foundation, and he filed a complaint like alleging racism, mistreatment, and different things like that. And if they're willing to treat their doctors like this, I mean, what do you think they're treating their patients like? So I'm going to play a couple news clips from that as well, just so you guys can get an idea. But everything in here, if you feel free to look it up, I'll put a few more details down below, but it's all on the internet.
As a pediatric eye surgeon, Dr. Omandi Nyong'o has helped heal thousands of children from complex and sometimes life-threatening diseases. But during his 14 years at Sutter Health in Palo Alto, he says he diagnosed something so dangerous, so pervasive, that it's even threatening certain doctors, including himself.
I was exposed to the type of racism that hits you on the back of the head when you don't see it coming.
Dr. Nyong'o says discrimination at his workplace made him the target of racially derogatory remarks, demotions, and salary cuts. He says his supervisor even asked him not to use the elevator at his clinic and instead use the stairs to avoid running into white colleagues who felt uncomfortable seeing him. Dr. Nyong'o has been repeatedly recognized for providing high-quality patient care, even by Sutter's own health system, but says he has been treated poorly because he's a doctor who happens to be black.
There are not many of us to begin with, but of those, many of us have either experienced the things that I have while at Sutter or have been chased away over the years.
Similar to Dr. Davies, I was labeled a disruptive physician.
Disruptive?
Yeah. If I was complaining about something that happened, like unsterile instruments on the back table, I became the problem. And it's really scary for patients.
Like you're asking for an ultrasound to do a liver biopsy. And they said, you know, it's really difficult what you're asking for, and you're becoming really difficult to work with. And I thought, well, that's because I can't see where the liver is.
Who or what do you blame for the kind of treatment you experienced while at Sutter?
Leadership.
Leadership.
And the culture within leadership.
But it's the leadership that determines the culture, ultimately. Yeah. And it starts at the top.
So I'm going to play a recording of just a quick little comment that Vasi made.
Trim what?
Your beard. I
Why?
don't like it.
Why?
It's too long. It's ugly. You look like a yifto.
A yifto?
Yeah. Yifto.
What if I said it's because I'm Muslim? I'm growing my beard.
I don't care what you are. I don't like Muslims.
You don't like Muslims?
No. Neither does Janice, and neither does Jennifer. That was the biggest regret that they did in their life, was marrying one.
So So 3 things super important there. I mean, you hear, as the lady said, ultimately it's scary for the patients, because at the end of the day, I mean, even when you have a good doctor who's trying to do their job, they're bashed and they're said, you know, called difficult and things like that. So it's like, okay, now you can't even be a good doctor. And secondly, it's the culture. And as that guy said, it's the leadership that determines the culture. And so when you have the people at the top treating their own like this, I mean, I can only imagine what other people were going through. I'm going to also talk a little bit more about Depomedrol specifically, and, you know, just this letter I found. So it was written in 2017. It's, you know, from the American Patient Defense Union, which basically states that, like, a lot of people are being tricked, hurt and killed with these injections, and these doctors get paid for it. A lot of them do it off-label. A lot of them don't have any reprimand, any actions taken against them for this, and a lot of people have died from getting the same injection that Adam received. That's literally exactly what happened to Adam. I mean, they didn't even tell him it was Depomedrol. They said, like, remember, he had that EKG right before where they said he had a dead nerve and a dead muscle. You're going to need surgery. Why out of nowhere you go to Stanford and you have to have this steroid injection before surgery? That just doesn't seem right to me. He didn't even say it was Depomedrol. I mean, in the records, no one had written down Depomedrol. Another thing that made it, you know, stand out to me is that it was a blind injection, which these should never be performed blindly. But like I said, Adam had gone years trying to get his shoulder fixed. You know, he kind of honestly was pressured into this. You know, he was at Stanford, which he thought, like we all thought, was a good hospital. He didn't know what he was set up, you know, what was about to happen to him. So for these people not to look into this and not to take the necessary steps to help him, just that alone, without everything else I'm going to go into, is bad on its own. We're realizing that this is just, it can't be this many coincidences. Like, we were starting to try to, like, back away from her in a way, because, I mean, she's taken us everywhere Penny works or Penny is interning. She's taken us to where her friends work, you know, at Palo Alto Medical Foundation Dublin, where Adam has never been to in his life. She's taken us to UCSF, where people are recognizing her, and once again, Penny is interning there, recommends we go there. The Greek lawyer. So we decided to request, you know, all of Adam's records from Stanford, and that's when we got the records from September 29th, 2015. So I just want to go over a few of these pages. So here you can see, as I said, you know, he makes note that it's his mother, his aunt, and a friend, which would be me, that accompanied him during the visit. And here he's noting, you know, that when he came back in, he still, you know, as you heard in that appointment, is claiming that he saw Adam on November 19th, 2014. He's also referencing some other appointments that Adam had went to after he received that injection. But this right here is what was kind of crazy to us. So during that appointment, we had no idea, or we had no clue about this letter supposedly that he received from Adam's aunt. Now there's a few different things that I want to go over in regards to this letter, but I'm going to just read through it for you guys. So in his notes, he stated that he received the letter dated September 20th, 2015, you know, referencing that, you know, Adam is a longtime marijuana user. His years of breakdancing / headspins can take a toll on his cervical spine. This is what Dr. Casteros is claiming he received in the letter from Adam's aunt Jennifer. And again, in his notes, he stated, Adam continues to emphasize that I did not evaluate him on November 19, 2014. He claimed to have an audio tape in his possession to substantiate this. I emphasized to him that I do recall seeing him on that date, and that I recall interaction with him, which was documented in the chart. As you guys have heard, that's a lie. But the craziest part here, and this is the first time we found out about this, so supposedly Adam's aunt Jennifer sent a letter to Dr. Costuros. In his notes here, he said the letter was dated September 20th, 2014. And in the letter, Jennifer claimed that Adam was a longtime user of marijuana and that his years of breakdancing / headspins can take a toll on his cervical spine. Now, again, Adam had never been to any doctors for his neck or any problems with that any time before having that injection of Depo-Medrol. He never even went to the doctors for any other pain besides when he got slammed by his mom's cousin Tom. So he's never been hurt from breakdancing in his life. And marijuana does not cause the symptoms he has. I mean, we all smoke weed. So that right there is just inappropriate to claim, and also it's inappropriate for him to include this in his notes for other doctors to see without him proving any of this. So this is where everything gets really crazy, because after we got these records and we saw that, you know, he received this letter from Jen, we called Jen and we asked her, like, well, why the hell would you do this? She was like, what do you mean? She completely denied it. She even called back and left a voicemail stating that she had only wrote 2 letters. She wrote one to Adam in her handwriting, and she wrote one to the doctor the day before, just explaining that, you know, she was going to be there. Because I read to her what was written in the records, and she was like, I would never say that to anyone. I would never go and talk about Adam that way to anyone, especially the doctor. You know, in the voicemail, she stated that she was worried. I'm actually going to play that for you guys real quick, and then I'm going to go into more detail on this letter.
Armani, hi, it's Jennifer again. I've run upstairs to take a look at all the papers that I have on Adam, and the letter that's to Dr. Costuros dated September 28th of 2015. I don't know if that's what we're talking about, or we're talking about the long letter I wrote to Adam myself. So I just wanted to clarify. Gosh, I don't know. I'm concerned. I'm troubled by there's definitely 2 letters. The long second one didn't go anywhere. So I hope that's what we're talking about. Anyhow, okay. I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.
The next day was when Vasi came over. And Vasi is telling us, like, oh no, Jen did write the letter. You know, she told me about it way long ago, but I forgot. And she slipped me a copy in my purse. I'm going to also play another recording for you guys of us, you know, asking Vasi about the letter.
You should have told us about the letter. I don't know why you're coming. You gave us the letter. It was given to you a long time.
No, I told you she dropped it into my bag. I didn't know she dropped it into my bag, Adam.
Okay.
And then I was cleaning out my closet and I saw it.
Whatever happened.
Listen to me. If I knew about that envelope, why wasn't it opened? It was sealed. And I said to myself, you know what? Look, I found an envelope with my name on it. So I'm gonna give it to Adam. I don't want Adam to think that I opened it up and I read it a long time ago.
Who opened it? I care about who gave that letter to Costuros. That letter you gave me doesn't mean anything to me, but you're not getting it back. Trust me.
You know, I don't want it back, Adam. I wanted to read it in front of you.
You're not reading
Well, I'm just telling you, this is what that letter came from Jennifer. She slipped it into my bag.
How about Mom? You want?
That was another thing that was like kind of weird to me and felt kind of set up. It's like, okay, why do you want us to open it in front of you? Like, it's almost like she wanted to like react with us or something like that. So I'm gonna just go over a few of the different things that was in this letter that Vasi brought over, and I'm just gonna go over how it's different from what was in the notes. So again, you know, when you get the envelope, it's just blank plain envelope with Vasi written on it. So we open it up, and on the first page of the letter he goes, you know, first difference from his notes that I noticed is this is dated September 28th, and he said his was dated September 20th, which is that was the first thing I noticed. In this letter, notice how his name is completely spelled out. You know, it says, good afternoon, Dr. Costuros. You know, I am his aunt and RN, and quite often the person to whom family members go to for medical advice. Okay. It goes on to say that, you know, list for the sake of brevity, here are the facts and belief in no particular order. You know, it outlines how Adam got the injection, how they was mistaken his left shoulder for his right. You know, she brought up the Dr. Oz episodes that we have found about this Depo-Medrol and how it's being used off-label in non-medically approved ways. And then she goes on to state that, you know, I'm going crazy, in quotes, on November 11th, something is going to happen. Now, remember, this is Jen, the same lady who doesn't like Muslims. She's like painting him out to be some sort of terrorist, like he's insane, like everything that's going on with him is just completely invalid. And then she goes on to speak as if she's his physician, when mind you, she really don't even know Adam. I mean, this is his aunt through marriage. The only time he really saw her was like on family reunions or when, you know, they went out to Arizona here or there. So for her to state as if she just knew his complete medical history, you know, it was a trigger point injection. Adam is a longtime user of marijuana. MRIs are negative. His years of breakdancing / headspins can take a toll on his cervical spine. She don't know any of this, and she's stating it as if it's fact. And this is the same thing that he put in his records as if it were fact, when it's completely false. Now, after Vasi storms over and she goes crazy like that, this is when, you know, she specifically said, I'm going to have Jen call you and set things straight. That was just weird to me, her choice of words. And then when we spoke to Jennifer on the phone, Jennifer completely flipped. But what's crazy is her story still didn't make sense. I'm going to play a couple recordings for you guys, but I want you to listen to the fact. Remember, we have the fax receipt, the supposed fax receipt. Yet she says she mailed it, you know, weeks ahead. So I guess she's trying to go with the timeline that's in his records. But Vasi had already gave us a copy, and it said September 28th. At this point, Jennifer hasn't produced a copy of the letter yet. She is just like changing her story. So she goes on to state that I mailed it ahead. You know, I'd rather be shunned than a mother be shunned. You know, I'll take the blame for everything. Just things like that. So if she wants to take responsibility for this, go ahead, take responsibility for this. Because either way, they did something together with this letter and it was wrong. So I'm going to play a couple recordings from that phone call of Jennifer and just listen to her story and pay attention to the documents that I had just showed you guys.
Approach can he give to Adam when he does see Adam? I mailed it ahead, and I had hoped that he would take a look at this and see how really uncomfortable Adam is for all those different reasons, from the injection itself, from the depression about having had the injection and things go wrong. The whole picture. Somebody's got to help him with the whole picture. You know, you see one doctor about one thing and another doctor about another thing, and but you know, I think I still owe everybody an apology. Like I said, I'm looking at this as written back in September, and I was really wound up about safety, and I'm so concerned about him. And you know, the reports that he gave me say that he had a trigger point injection, not the spinal column injection that he was thinking of. And so I just, you know, I had Vasi call me, you got to do something, Jennifer, you got to do something. My son's losing weight, my son's going to die. We got to make sure this doctor does something for him. So I just put all the cards on the table. And maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. So, like I said, I still think that I'm to blame in some manner. And if this is the letter that Vasi gave to you or showed you, you know, I didn't write it on the back of a menu or anything. It was typed up. I gave him my name, my phone number, if he wanted to call me. But, you know, I'm looking at the whole global picture from what Adam said, what his dad told me, what his mother's told me, and trying to get him a global type of help. So I don't know, Armani. You may decide that I am, to blame. I don't know, but that's what I wrote. That's it.
So another thing that was weird there is like they still, Vossi and Jennifer can't get their story straight. I mean, Vossi is saying that Jennifer slipped it into her purse. Jennifer is denying slipping it into her purse. Jennifer is saying that she didn't write anything on the back of a brochure, which I just showed you guys. That included a brochure and it had writing on the back of it. We still have that to this day. I'm going to play a couple more recordings from that phone call between me and Jennifer.
Uncovered. If there's anything, like I said, Armani, as much as I would just like to not be under the bus, I think that, I have to own up to what I did write. I think if having heard what you had told me yesterday and today, if I knew then what I know now, I would have modified what I said, but I was real concerned about what could we accomplish in such a short doctor's visit. I'm going to put all the cards on the table, and hopefully doctor comes away with a plan of what we can do. So, I think I'd still said, I just, I feel badly. If there's anything that I can do to make things better, or I don't know, Armani, if there's anything that I can do, I feel badly for Adam having such a fallout with his mother, because it's his mother. I'm just the aunt, and I would like to. I know there's some problems, but I have just read to you everything that I wrote. I didn't write anything about any drugs, Depo-Med. I don't know anything about that. All of that has been afterwards. My letter to the doctor was trying to get him to think about that, we have a potential lawsuit here. Wake up. Let's try to help Adam. And so, I read it to you. Now you know. That's it. I don't know what Vossi has or what she might produce a copy of, but, no, I didn't do anything sneaky and put something in her purse or something like that, but that's it.
So you told her you're gonna write this? You told her exactly? I don't know, I just want to clear a few things,
Sure.
You did tell her that you were gonna write this, and did you hand her a copy, or?
The handwritten thing is what I gave to Adam, probably my last communication with him. I don't know.
No, I'm saying, did you hand, the copy of the letter that you gave to the doctor, did you just hand it to Vossi?
To be honest with you, I don't remember. I know I mailed a copy to the doctor because I wanted to be sure that he waded through it and thought of all of the things that we needed to discuss and look at, and I don't remember, Armani. To be honest with you, I don't.
Did you tell Vossi you were going to give her a copy, or did she know that you were going to write him a letter?
I don't remember. I just don't remember. I'm trying to. I did save a copy for myself, of course, and that's what I just read to you. But I don't. I would have been upfront with her. I can't remember. I know how I operate, and I'm very upfront. I would have either said, "Here it is," or I would have had to say, "Here it is," because I don't even know what her mailing address is. I don't even have her mailing address, so I would not have mailed it to her. I would have said what I would have done if I could remember. It's typical for me to have said, "Here it is," and I'd be very upfront. So, but as far as something written on the back of another piece of paper or something, no, that's not me.
Okay. Well, yeah, thank you.
So, but now you know.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I just, as much as I would like people to start calling me again and not shunning me, I feel badly about his dad is angry with me, and I don't know how to fix that. But I got to be honest with you. I don't want to just let you go off and be so angry with Vossi unless, it's deserved on her part. That I can't do anything about. But I just needed to let you know, and I have now read to you everything. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I'm gonna go back talk to Adam.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
get
bye.
back to me later today and let me know, because I am concerned, and I just gave him space in these last few months, and you know, it's okay if people don't want to interact with me, or Adam has kind of moved on, but I don't want there to be misunderstanding, and I don't want to feel like I've created problems. If I've created problems, that's a whole nother issue, and I certainly would want to do what I can to fix that.